Welcome to English with Jane. Hello everybody, and today we're going to practice questions you could get at the level 1 speaking and listening English exam. So it's level 1 ESOL. Remember, the type of questions are very different to the entry-level questions. So go through the video and see all of the different types you might get. Let's begin with something simple. How are you today? Can I check your ID? You're going to tell me how to do something. Have you got something to show me? Now be aware of these questions where a statement is made followed by a question, because all of that is important for you to listen to, because it all means something the examiner is asking you to do. And very simple is this questions might be, is this a recipe? Is this a traditional event? Is this a pattern? Is this? I wonder if you could help. Can you help? So again, looking at the statement followed by a question, and be very, very aware of the English phrase, I wonder if, because that's really a question. I wonder if you could help me organise a club. That's asking you a question, but it's not said as a question. So I haven't written it as a question. I wonder if you hear that phrase, expect a question. Do you think? And remember, you're expected to answer, because that's what the examiner's marking you for. So I wonder if you hear that, listen carefully to what comes next. You're actually being asked a question. What about do you think? Do you think students would be interested? Your examiner is marking that you have an idea. Do you think you could do this? Doesn't matter what you think, whether it's yes or no, but the examiner just wants to know and perhaps give some extra detail there to get that level 1. Who do you think should run a lunchtime club? And you can see yourself that at entry level we would have used the basic who, what, where, when, why and how questions, but once you get to level 1, as examiners, we're going to give you a sentence or a question sentence that's structured much more differently. So, excuse me for that, differently. So, who do you think? Very important. Who do you think will help us? Who do you think is the best cook? So listen for inflections when the examiner is speaking to see the important word. Who do you think will help me? Who should be involved in this? And listening to all those questions, you will have already noticed that the examiner is using should, could, will, shall. So make sure you're very clear about the meanings and the expectation of how to answer when it's written in a question. What about? What about advertising, for example? So instead of asking you a direct question or telling you this is an example, what do you think? We're using the phrase what about. So as an examiner, when we use the phrase what about in a question, we're really giving you some information and asking you, what do you think? What about? What about everyone else? What do you think about everyone else? What about you? What do you think about you being involved? How will we let everybody know? Could you get some opinions from the students? So being aware at level 1 of the difference between could and can. So in a question using could, then that's asking you, is it possible for you to do this? Using can, it's saying, are you able to do this? So could you also find out if anybody else wants to join? Do you think we should share that idea? Some of the questions might involve the we pronoun. So the examiner is asking you as though it's not just you on your own having to do it. So listen very carefully to responses that you give that's about what you can do and what you could do if somebody else was involved. Shall we try it out? That's an important starting phrase for your question. Shall we? Shall we start tomorrow? What do you think about that? And what do you think you could help with? And if you've listened to all of those questions, you will have heard that word think come up quite a lot, because that's what you're being marked at level 1 speaking and listening. What are your opinions? Can you listen to a question and not have a prepared answer, but know what the examiner's asking you and have an idea and be able to say your thoughts? So should it just be for level 1 students? That's an interesting phrase, isn't it? Should it just be? Is it only 4? Do you need to revisit any of the question types? If you do, then use this video to go over the question types, look at the important sections in red, make sure you understand the question that's being asked, think about the type of answers you might give, but most of all, be comfortable with the question types. And if you want to, click back to entry 3 questions and look again at those, and you'll clearly see the difference. Good luck. See you in the next video. Bye now.